Chapter 205. Council Meeting. Fire Trial. About 5,000 of the most chief priests were gathered in the large open hall, which was built in the manner of an amphitheatre, and were waiting for the 10 scouts with great longing and greed. When they also entered this open hall with somewhat anxious expectations, they were immediately surrounded by the priests and led to an underground passage where at the end a large fire could be seen. They were led closer and closer to this fire, and soon discovered from a certain distance that in the midst of this mighty flames were howling, burning people. But the fire was only a mirage fire, similar to what is accomplished at present in theatres by transparents, a turning wheel and finely painted flames. But here in Hanoch, the illusion so perfect that anybody in a certain vicinity could not see anything else but a most real, mighty fire, which of course did not have the slightest heat. When our 10 caught sight of this tremendous spectacle, they began to feel very strange. They wanted to ask, "What is this? Who are those howling in there?" But right at the entrances, they were emphatically urged to keep quiet about everything they are going to see. Otherwise, it will be happening to them. From the fire, they were led to another tunnel and soon arrived at a 40 fathoms deep and 90 fathoms in circumference hole, fenced off with railings at the top. The priest lit here pitched bundles of straw and threw them down into the abyss. This lit the hole, and a lot of vermin could be seen at the bottom, as well as many gnawed skeletons. And it was, of course, impossible to discern whether this were human or animal remains. But they were all from animals, however. Very large animals. For human skeletons would not have been so easily visible at a depth of 40 fathoms. Because everything was fraudulent and aimed at creating great fear, and so also the snakes and other vermin were artificially formed and had mechanical movement. Because the natural species would not be that easily visible at such a depth, which could be accessed by a secret but very spacious spiral staircase in order to direct the mechanism of the snakes, dragons, and crocodiles. This basin was built underneath a natural cave, which large spaciousness contributed to the size reputation of the abyss. Now, if one considers these two deceptive appearances, and the layman next to it, it will not be difficult to understand what terrible fear came over our 10 messengers when they had to swear at the abyss to comply with all ordinances of the high priests without the slightest demur if they did not want to be thrown alive, either into the hellfire or into this abyss. The 10, therefore, vowed out of fear with their mouths, but the more fiercely they cursed in their chests, saying to themselves, "Just let us get out into the open once again, and you get a taste of this abyss and your hell itself." After this oath, the 10 were again led back to the large open hall, and were clothed with underpriestly garments, after which the great council meeting started.